Hey y'all, Matt Stepp with Dave Campbell's Texas Football here in my office after a crazy Friday night of football here in the state of Texas in Week 8. Let's start with my game in Granbury tonight as Lake Belton rolls past Granbury 45-7. No surprise there. Lake Belton was a big favorite going into this one, and they dominated 45-7. Micah Hudson, the five-star receiver, 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. It was 38-0 at halftime. Coach Brian Cope got Lake Belton starters out of there in the second half and played a bunch of backups. So congrats to Lake Belton. Big game next week for the Broncos as they take on Midlothian. Winner probably gets to host a playoff game. Around the state, some of the big games that had my attention, starting in Class 6A down in the San Antonio area, the Stone Oak Super Bowl. The Reagan Rattlers knock off Johnson 41-27. Big game. Transfer quarterback Brad Jackson from Cy Creek makes a huge difference for Reagan. They're undefeated, likely going to go 10-0 if they take care of business the rest of the way. San Antonio Johnson, I expect them to finish 9-1, still a strong team there. Reagan gets the win. It was 27-27 in the fourth quarter, less than 9 minutes to go, and Reagan scores 2 touchdowns in the final frame late in the game to pull away for the 41-27 win. Congrats to Lyndon Hamilton's ball club as they look to finish the year strong. In West Texas, 2-5A Division I. How about the Abilene Eagles? Big win over Lubbock Cooper, 38-35. Abilene raced out to a big lead at halftime. I think they were up by 3 touchdowns at one point in the first half. Led 28-14 at the half. Lubbock Cooper comes roaring back, takes a 35-31 lead late in the game. Abilene, with 4 seconds left in the game, gets a Dylan Slack to Rylan Bradford's 17-yard touchdown to win the game. Abilene improves to 6-2 on the year, puts themselves in the driver's seat for the district championship in 2-5A Division I. A classic out at Shotwell tonight. I bet that place was rocking. Huge upset in Class 4A out in East Texas. How about the Lindale Eagles knocking off the number 1 ranked team in the state, Tyler Chapel Hill? I believe the final was 35-23. What a win for Chris Cochran's ball club in Lindale. And if you're Chapel Hill, they just, for whatever reason, when they go to Lindale, they could not beat the Lindale Eagles. Lindale has their number at home, and a huge win for Lindale. And now Chapel Hill falls from the ranks of the unbeaten. They're going to fall out from the number 1 spot in Class 4A. And now all of a sudden they're looking at possibly being a 2 or a 3 seed if things don't break right. So Jeff Rudin's ball club is going to have to try to get themselves together to close out the season, especially with that Week 11 game against Kilgore looming. In the Metroplex, how about Argyle? State-ranked matchup. They knock off Frisco Emerson 41-34. Sophomore quarterback in his first ever varsity start leads Argyle to an upset win over number 2 ranked Frisco Emerson 41-34. Argyle led 34-19. Kind of felt like they had control of the game. Emerson comes roaring back, ties it up, but Argyle pulls it out in the end. That's a championship ball club, and just because they lost those 2 games early in the year, don't discount this young and talented Argyle team. They're playing a lot of sophomores. They've got a super talented sophomore group. They're going to be a team to keep an eye on. Argyle knocks off Frisco Emerson 41-34. A couple of big matchups in 3A Division I that caught my attention. They were state-ranked games between unbeaten opponents. Let's start down in Houston. The Columbus Cardinals, number 2 ranked, knock off number 4 Hitchcock 52-24. Columbus outscores Hitchcock 28-0 in the second half. A huge second half from Matt Schobel's ball club. And the story of this game was Tyvon Whitehead, the running back for Columbus. 5 touchdown runs, including a 94-yard fourth-quarter touchdown run. That was kind of the backbreaker. Columbus pitches a second-half shutout. This game was 24-24 at the half. Columbus kicked a field goal right before halftime to tie it at 24. They shut Hitchcock out in the second half. That's something shocking that they shut out a Hitchcock. This Hitchcock offense is one of the best in the state. They're dynamic playmakers all over the field. Columbus pitches a second-half shutout, 52-24. A statement win for Matt Schobel's ball club. There's going to be a discussion about Columbus being the number 1 team in the state in Class 3A Division I. Franklin's got the state's longest winning streak. They're back-to-back state champs, but they haven't been as impressive this year. They've had some struggles. They've kind of won some games ugly. They've had some close calls. Columbus has been dominant. They blow out Hitchcock tonight. A couple of weeks ago, they blew out Class 4A, a state-ranked Class 4A Madisonville team at the time. Columbus is making a statement with their resume, and right now they're right there on Franklin's heels, but there's going to be a discussion this weekend about the number 1 team in 3A Division I. Also in 3A Division I, how about the Winsboro Red Raiders knocking off Pottsboro 52-24, 5th-ranked Winsboro, 9th-ranked Pottsboro. Pottsboro goes to Winsboro and takes it on the chin, 52-28, Quarterback Kyler Finney had a huge game again for Winsboro. Talking to Greg Powers about Kyler Finney, he's committed to Southern Arkansas. He's got a little Johnny Manziel in him if you watch him. He runs around. He kind of has that swashbuckling attitude, and just he's fun to watch. I watched a good portion of this game from in the press box during my game. Loved Kyler Finney's game. He was fun to watch. Winsboro is an excellent team, and they are deserving their state ranking. They may move up a little bit this week. That's a big win for them over Pottsboro, as they probably now look like they're in the driver's seat to finish the regular season 9-0 because they had a game that was rained out earlier in the year. And then finally, I think that's it, actually. I couldn't remember if I had any other games to talk about. That pretty much wraps up my thoughts on Week 8, just kind of off the top of my head real quick. I'm going to try to get a couple hours of sleep and then head to San Antonio for a couple of big district ball games in the Alamo City tomorrow. Should be a fun one, but what a great Week 8 of Texas high school football. We're getting close to the playoffs, and you can just feel the games getting bigger and bigger, and it's almost that time. We're getting ready for some big games coming up the next 3 weeks as we close out the regular season. So y'all have a good night.